the intensity of the training all depends on the student who comes to it. And now, if I have a group of men, most of the guys here, and they want to eventually become MMA fighters who are going to go and try out in amateur fights and work their way all the way into K1 or UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championships, then they have to work harder. They're not just going to come here. Some guys just come here because it's better than just going to the gym and lifting some weights and doing some treadmill workout or elliptical climber. They want to get something that will keep their testosterone pumping through the body, and they can talk about it when they go to work. They show a bump to somebody, say, "Hey, I'm training MMA." It's like a status symbol. So for that reason, I keep the intensity pretty high on certain students, and I reduce it and increase it on certain students. Like you can see some students complaining about their knees or their elbows are hurting or their fists are hurting, wrists a lot hurt. So if their wrist is hurting, the student's not going to hit very hard with the punches. So I have to take it easy on the wrist, but tell them to pick it up with the legs. Kick harder with the legs because, right, your wrist is hurting, fine. Work on relaxing the wrist, but pick it up and hit harder with the legs. So I change the intensity every class. It's always like a high-low impact. You don't just keep going at one steady symbol because that way they'll hit plateaus. You keep going, pick up speed, drop it down, more power, more speed, more power. You can do, because combination of power and speed is what a knockout's made of. So in order for that to happen, I have to keep them on their toes all the time. I never let them be comfortable. They never know what's going to happen that night in class. If you look at my schedule, it doesn't say Tuesday is Jiu-Jitsu, Monday is Muay Thai. No. They come to class, they have no idea what's going to happen. They bring all their equipment with them. I start off with a warm-up of jump rope, throw them into push-ups, grab tires. We throw tires over shoulders. We slap the tires on their bodies. They do push-ups with the tires. They punch, elbow, knee, kick the tires full power, so they have bumps and welts in their bodies, bruises. And the bruises take a little while to go away. They have to ice it every night. They have to roll it out with a glass bottle or a wooden stick. Tap it so that way the bumps will not permanently stay. The bumps will eventually leave, and I have done that to myself, so it's not like I haven't been through this, and I went through harsher than the treatment they get in this gym. The floor is nicer, the temperature in here is nicer compared to a jungle of Thailand where I train in Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai, if it rains, we don't stop training. We train in the rain, we train in dead, sweltering heat, humid weather, everything else. So you want to be able to keep going and keep working towards excellence and perfect, attitude where no matter what's thrown in, whatever you're thrown into, you will always be doing your best effort, and that's what winners are made of in this fight.
My experience was great here. It's real tough. It definitely wore me out. I just got out of the Marines, and we work out all the time, and it's definitely kicked my butt, so it's good stuff.
I have been training in martial arts since I was able to walk. I was very young and in school in Japan, and I got in a fight in a class because a Japanese kid was abusing a Chinese girl in class because she was Chinese. And that I never ever stood around and was the person who would just, oh, it's not my problem, let them do what they're doing. I always try to stop injustice. That's always been my attitude in life. Even now, if I ever see someone abusing their power against someone who's weaker, I'm not going to walk away from that. I have to stop it by hand. That's a part of my religion. That's a part of my faith system. And I think that's something that all human beings should do. If everybody did that, we would never have any injustice happening anywhere. But back to the story at hand. I saw the guys abusing the girl. I stepped in and I started beating him up. I had no skill how to beat somebody up. I just started to punch him and kick him, and I was expelled from out of first grade. I was expelled out of first grade. So after that, my father took me to the first dojo he saw in Okinawa, and he put me into training there. And I was 4 years old, and my Japanese sensei, his name was Yoshito Tanaka. Yoshito Tanaka was a famous fighter in Japan until he had a really bad injury of his back, and he was not able to do everything like he used to before. But as a coach and a trainer and almost like a father figure to me, he trained me in everything you can think of, from how to think to how to act, how to react. I mean, you have to. I would be there 8-9 hours a day because that was my after-school program. I would be there and until my dad would get out of work and come get me. I wouldn't have a bike or there was buses. In Okinawa, it's a small village with water surrounding it. So you don't get on a boat by yourself. You have to have parents or an adult with you. So I would stay there all day. He would teach me from how to make tea to how to make sushi to how to fight. I mean, I would learn everything from him, how to be a man, basically. And I kept following his footsteps and did martial arts. From Japanese and Asian martial arts, I moved to the more of the South Asian, from Eskrima, Kali, training in weapons. I got learned in Kung Fu when I went to China. I got into Thailand as being a Marine. As I mentioned earlier, we were cross-training with military. Military, we are a little bit curbed and more controlled because they don't want the soldiers getting hurt, so they don't go all out. I like the Muay Thai because there's using 8 limbs. You have to use your hands, your elbows, your knees, and your feet. And also the 9th limb is your forehead. You actually have to break coconuts and hit your head into hard objects. So if you headbutt someone, they pretty much can't see after that because you can break their nose with it. Intensity is very high, and training has been, almost 27 years I've been training in martial arts. I'm 31 now. I started when I was 4.
If you don't have any training, or if you do, this is a great place to start or continue training. You got a great coach. It's a great facility, and it's tough.
You cannot be afraid of something you have not tried. So in order to remove the fear from your heart and your body and your soul, that you see something in a movie and you think that, wow, I would never be able to do this. Destroy the negative thinking. Stop thinking negative. Stop saying, I would never, I can't. Don't use those words. Remove them from your vocab and your lexicon. Use words like, I should try this. And that's why, I don't know about other gyms who train this, but most people charge for you to come in and train. I do not charge for a person to walk in and try a free class. You saw Chris Sullivan today, and he took class with me, and you interviewed him earlier, and he was a first timer. He saw my billboard, he called me on the phone, and he came in. Simple. And I'm very inviting. I have an open door policy. I stay after class and help students. I answer questions at any time of the day. My cell phone number is available with all my students. They ever think about anything, or they wonder what is this or what's the difference between something, they call me. And I treat them like a friend, because some instructors are very, very straight. I had very strict instructors who did not really befriend me, so I always try to be different from that. I don't want to have a relationship where I just want your money and I teach you and you go home. I want you to be able to come to me if you have a problem. And to do that, you have to be open. And I always tell people, come try a free class. Once you try a free class, you learn about me. You learn at least what is your coach about. You'll see how I train you. Am I a very tough instructor? Am I lenient? Am I give and take? Do I have a middle ground? What are my pet peeves? Everything. I give you everything in a 2-hour class. There's no way you can leave class without knowing me as a person better. And same way I learn about you. I was always told in Japan, as my instructor told me, if you ever want to know a person, spar with them. Have a little round, 1 or 2 rounds with them. You'll see and know everything you need to know about them. And that would be my closing message to you guys and everyone who's watching this show, that you need to open your mind and try new martial arts. Martial artists who stick to one form their entire life, they're very rigid and they get defeated very easily because they're not well-rounded. Martial arts is about being like a ball, yin yang. If you focus on my logo has an angel, a lion, and a yin yang in the back. Yin yang. There's 2 sides of everything. There's evil in martial arts, there's good in martial arts. Try to focus on the good and try to avoid the evil. If somebody shows you evil, try to fight the evil with the positive. Positive and negative are always at battle, and that's how Earth works. We always have good and evil attacking each other, and martial arts is about fighting evil with good. Some people abuse their martial arts by taking their skill and beating somebody up who's less likely to hurt them, and that's where they give a martial art a bad name. So if you are going to do my art, I actually have a contract that they sign, and they say that they will never abuse someone using what I taught them, because that is I will be accountable for that, because I'm their teacher. So same way, if I'm accountable, my teacher will be, it's a disgrace to my teacher if I teach people how to use a hand lock or elbow strike to somebody to steal a purse. That's not what I'm teaching you this. I'm teaching you to defend yourself. So come try class, enjoy it. If you don't like it, tell me what's wrong with it. You know, I love feedback. I also have people, when they leave my class, they have to write me testimonials. On my website, you can read testimonials about what people thought about my classes after the first time they took it. So if you ever get a chance, you can go to my website, angellionsfitness.net, or give us a call here, 407-277-9014. And my name is Imran. Either I or my wife Irene can answer any of your questions. And I want to appreciate everything this show does for people to get, an inside look into different martial arts in the world. And if it wasn't for you guys, people would be, unaware of what's going on in the world and what martial arts are available. So thank you so much.